Premanande, Go Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we will be serving Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam in chronological order. Whose child is this? किसका बच्चा है ये? Please. There is a playroom on the inside, on that door. Please take him there. Thank you so much. So we will be serving Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 20, and verses 42 and 43. So right now, verse number 42 is displayed, and then I will simply read verse number 43 as well. So kindly repeat. Urjvanstam maniyamana Atmanam Bhagavan Ajaha Sadhyan Ganan Pitra Ganan Parokshayena Sat Prabhu Urjvasvantam Manyamana Atmanam Bhagavan Jaha Sadhyan Ganan Pitru Ganan Parokshana Srujat Prabhu Urjastvanta Manyamana Atmanam Bhagavan Jaha Sadhyan Ganan Pitru Ganan Parokshena Srujat Prabhu
Urjasvantam Manyamana Atmanam Bhagavana Jaha Sadhyan Ganan Pitruganan Parokshena Srujat Prabhu
Urjvasvantam Manyamana Atmanam Bhagavana Jaha Sadhyan Ganan Pitruganan Parokshena Srujat Prabhu
Urjvasvantam Madhyamana Atmanam Bhagavana Jaha Satyan Ganan Pitruganan Parokshena Srujat Prabhu
Mataji's.
Urjvasvantam Manyamana Atmanam Bhagavana Jaha Sadhyan Ganan Pitruganan Parokshena Prabhu.
Word to word meaning, please. Kindly repeat. Urjavantam,
Urjavantam,
full of energy.
full of energy.
Manyamanaha,
Manyamanaha,
recognizing.
recognizing.
Atmana,
Atman,
himself.
himself.
Bhagavan,
Bhagavan,
the most worshipful.
the most worshipful.
Ajaha,
Ajaha,
Brahma,
Brahma,
Sadhyan,
Sadhya,
the demigods.
the demigods.
Ganan,
Ganan,
host.
host.
Pitrir Ganan,
Ganan,
and the Pitas.
and the Pitas.
Parokshena,
Parokshena,
from his invisible form.
from his invisible form.
Asrijat,
Asrita,
created.
created.
Prabhu,
Prabhu,
the Lord of beings.
the Lord of beings.
Also, please repeat after me the translation and a very one-line short purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Recognizing himself to the full of desire,
Recognizing himself
to be full of desire and energy,
and energy.
the worshipful Brahma,
The worshipful Brahma,
the creator
the creator
of the living entities,
of the living entities,
evolved
evolved
from his own
from his own
invisible form.
invisible form.
From his navel,
From his navel,
the host,
the host,
actually it should be ghost, it's a typo. The ghost of sadhyas
the host of Satyas,
and pitas.
and Pitas.
Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. The sadhyas and pitas are invisible forms of departed souls, and they are also created by Brahma.
And they are also created by the Lord.
Next verse number 43. I will just simply read it, just to consider the time. Tatmasargam tamakayam pitraha pratipedire sadhyavascha pitruvascha kavaya yad vitanvate. We can repeat the synonyms and then the translation. They, Atma Sargam, source of their existence.
Source of their existence.
Tam, that. Kayam, body.
Body.
Pitana, Pitaraha,
Pitaraha,
the Pitas.
the Pitas.
Prati Pedire,
Pratipedire,
accepted.
accepted.
Sadhibhya,
Sadhya,
to the Sadhyas.
Satyas,
Cha, and
and
Pitrabhya,
Pitrabhya,
to the Pitas.
the Pitas.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Kavayaha,
Avayaha,
those well versed in rituals. Yat,
Yat,
through which
through which
Vitanvate,
Vitanvate,
offer oblations.
offer salvation.
Translation: the Pitas themselves
The Pitas themselves
took possession
took possession
of the invisible body,
of the invisible
the
body,
source of their existence.
the source of their existence.
It is through the medium of this
It is through the medium of this
invisible body
invisible body
that those well versed
that those well versed
in the rituals
in the rituals
offer oblations
offer oblations
to the Sadhyas and Pitas
to the Satyas and Pitas
in the form of their departed ancestors
in the form of the departed ancestors
on the occasion
on the occasion
of Shraddha.
of Shraddha.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manoyabhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमस्तुते व्यास विशाल बुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्र नेत्र जेना त्वया भारत कैलपूर्ण प्रज्वालित ज्ञानमया प्रदीप व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मण्ये देवाय वसिष्ठाय नमो नमः। आराध्यो भगवान् व्रजेश तनयस् तद्धाम वृन्दावनम् रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधूवर्गेण तया कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवत पुराणमलम् प्रेम पुमार्थो महान् श्रीचैतन्य महाप्रभुर्मतेदम् नायत्राग्रह परः नवनीरदनिन्दितकान्तिधरं रससागरनागरभूपवरं शुभवङ्किमचारुशिखण्डशिखिं भज कृष्णनिधिं व्रजराजसुतं राधिका सरोदैन्दु निन्दिमोखमण्डली वन्द्ये श्रीपादपद्म वृषभानुनन्दिनी वन्द्ये श्रीपादपद्म वृषभानुनन्दिनी वन्द्ये श्रीपादपद्म वृषभानुनन्दिनी आजानुलम्बितो भुजो कनकायवधातो संकीर्तने पितरवो कमलायताक्षो विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो युगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो नमस्ते गिरिराजाय गोवर्धननामिने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय परमानन्ददायिने पतित पावन निताय गौर सुंदर की जय। श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की जय। गोपाल नाथ जी श्रीनाथ जी की जय। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा देवी की जय। नरसिंहदेव भगवान भक्तवत्सल नरसिंहदेव भगवान भक्त शिरोमणि महाजन प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। छड़ गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। So this particular chapter in the third canto, chapter 20, is a conversation between Maitreya Muni and Vidurji. Vidur basically left before the war of Mahabharata. He left. He is the younger brother of Dhritarashtra and Pandu. And when Duryodhan insulted him to a very bad extent, he simply left the assembly and went on a pilgrimage. And that's where he met the perfect personality, Maitreya Rishi. Actually, it is also said that Vidur is so powerful that he had been given a bow by Lord Vishnu himself, and he was a very good archer. If he had participated in the war of Mahabharata, then perhaps the Pandavas could have lost. So actually, Vishnu himself had requested that, he arranged this where he got insulted very badly and then he simply left the assembly. And during his pilgrimage, he met Maitreya Rishi, a very, very realized soul, and he started asking him different questions. And he asked him questions about how Lord Brahma created the different parts of the creation and also the different beings. Lord Brahma is the first Prajapati. Praja means the subjects or the beings, and Pati means one who is the master or the progenitor. So he is the first progenitor. And from different parts of Lord Brahma's body, excuse me, different personalities appeared. So, in the previous verse, we find that there are some hobgoblins and ghosts who appeared from his body just simply when he yawned. Uh, a body was basically was caused out of that yawning, and that body was taken up by the host and the hobgoblins and the ghost. And it is said that they attack men or humans who are impure in nature, and those who have a disease of insanity. The ghosts and hobgoblins kind of, empower them and they enter into their body. So basically, what we call in normal terms that a particular person is haunted by a ghost. So in this particular verse, in verse number 42 here today, from Brahma's navel, from his nabi, the ghost of the sadhyas and pitas. So they are also kind of invisible body that emanated. And the pitas themselves, they took possession of this invisible body, which was the source of existence of the pitas and the sadhyas. So it is through the medium of this invisible body that those well versed in this rituals, especially in the Karma Kanda, it is mentioned, Prabhupada mentions this in the purport, that they offer oblations to the sadhyas and pitas in the form of their departed ancestors on the occasion of Shraddha. So Shraddha is a period of 15 days. And actually in 2024, according to the Vedic calendar, it starts on September 17, which is Tuesday, and it will last till October 2nd. So during the Shraddha in Sanatana Dharma, most of the devout uh, people, they offer oblations, especially the son, to the departed father, if the father is departed, grandfather, great grandfather, so they to the ancestors. So therefore, the word putra, in Sanskrit, in many Indian languages, the word putra means son. But what does it actually mean? Puta nama trayati iti putra. One who delivers the forefathers from a hell known as Pum or Puta, Puta Narak or Pum Narak, the hellish planet. So that is why normally, even when somebody passes away, I don't know if you have anybody observed this in the ritual at the crematorium. The Brahmin, he puts 7 pindas. Pindas means there are bowls made of rice on a banana leaf, and then the different varieties of offerings are offered to those pindas. Like water, especially, is offered, and some prasadam is offered, so that and each pinda represents the 7 forefathers. That's what the significance of that Shraddha ceremony is. And even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to perform the Shraddha ceremony of his departed father, Srila Jagannath Mishra. It is not necessary for Mahaprabhu to do that. And because Srila Jagannath Mishra is none other than Nanda Maharaj in Krishna Leela. So naturally, when he wound up his pastimes in Mayapur Navadvip, he definitely went back home to his original home, which is Golok Vrindavan. So, but still, Mahaprabhu respected the Vedas, and he did that. And I think it was on the request of his mother to satisfy others. So he went to Gaya. And it is said in Gaya, there is this special Vishnu Charan, the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, where so many devotees come. It's a tirtha, just like Vrindavan is a place of pilgrimage, and so many places of pilgrimage. Gaya, Vishnu Charan, is a place of pilgrimage. And that's where a lot of the Brahmins are approached by the common people and even great people to perform the Shraddha ceremony for their forefathers who may have been indulged in their sense gratification and perhaps uh, incurred so much sin that they are even bereft of a gross body. So we have to understand that we have two bodies. Our Shastras tell us one is known as Sthul Sharira and the second one is known as Sukshma Sharira. Sthul Sharir means gross body. Gross body is something that we can actually see, which is made of earth, water, air, fire, and ether. Just like our skin, our bones, that is made of earth. We have blood and so many fluids in our body, and water also that is comprising of water, etc. So that is Sthul Sharira. Now the second body that we have inside we cannot see. This we can see, right? But the body that is inside us, the Sukshma Sharir or the subtle body, we cannot see, that comprises of Mana, Buddhi, and Ahankar. Mind, intelligence, and false ego. And that is actually encased within us. And within that, the heart, it is encased there. And then also, in the deep core of the heart is Atma and Paramatma, the real soul and the super soul, Paramatma. And when it is true that there are ghosts, it is 100% true. We have also practically experienced it about almost 20-25 years ago. What is a ghost basically? A ghost is an entity that is bereft of a gross body. So they have the man, buddhi, and ahankar, but they don't have the gross body or the sthul sharir. And when you want to enjoy something or even suffer, we can say so, it only happens through the gross body. So, supposing if somebody pinches us, or if we are doing some work or cutting vegetables and we cut our finger with the knife, then we feel the pain. And similarly, when there's items of enjoyment, then we feel the pleasure. It is done through the gross body. Now, Prakriti or nature, under the direction of Krishna, punishes those who have committed very deep sins and does not give them a gross body. Does not give them a gross body. So they are simply roaming around in their subtle form. So you cannot see a ghost. Ghost may be sitting right here, but you cannot see because it doesn't have a gross body. And as an example, we find that Lord Shiva, Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu, is the topmost Vaishnava. And those who do not want to even associate with ghosts, as an example, everybody is scared, right? Uh, the Lord Shiva gives them shelter. And that is why Lord Shiva, in the evening time during twilight, he comes out with his whole entourage, along with the ghosts and hobgoblins, the pretas, those who don't have a stool sharir or gross body, so that at the time when a man and a woman, they are at the time of twilight, when they have physical union, then it is considered kind of bad, because we find in the Bhagavatam that one of the wives of Kashyap Muni, Diti, she forced Kashyap Muni into having physical union with him at twilight. And before that, Kashyap Muni said that please don't do this. It's not a good time. Lord Shiva comes along with the Bhut and Pretas, along with the ghosts. And you're simply looking for anybody, a woman's womb, who at the time of twilight is into physical union with her husband. So, but it is a special mercy, because staying without a gross body in the material world is not, it's not very good. And that is why Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the weakness is there. Those people who are weak or impure, the ghosts take advantage and they enter into their body for enjoyment. So then they get the gross body. Please try to understand this concept. The ghosts, they're always looking for weak persons. And what they do is, because they need to enjoy, they need, so they have to enter into some weak person. So just a personal little experience that I will mention firsthand, seen with my own eyes. This was about, I think, 22 years ago. I had actually gone from US to my home city, Bombay, Mumbai, and I was told on the phone many times by my mother that your cousin's wife, she is inflicted with this problem of possessing a ghost. And at first it was hard for me to kind of, believe that, but she used to tell me, and then my aunts used to tell me that too. So when I visited my cousin's home, I practically saw that, and whatever they told me on the phone was real. That my sister-in-law, she was very weak in countenance. Her body was very frail, and perhaps also mentally, also she was depressed or whatever may be the case. She was possessed, and I saw that practically. That when I went, my uncle, meaning my cousin's father, he took me inside the room. And I said, maybe, I can recite a few verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, chant the Mahamantra, and see if that helps her. And she was sleeping. Now, what the thing is that when she is possessed, she slept for 7 days, 8 days in a row. And then suddenly she would wake up and, like a zombie, walk towards the kitchen. And then she would grab a big thali, the biggest one, the big plate in the kitchen, and she would sit down on the floor, demanding food. And then she would eat everything that was made, and that was a big family that we had, at least 10 people, including one servant. So 10 people's food she would consume. Such a very, very frail person, not talk to anybody. And after eating, she would go back to sleep. And this continued for many months in a row. So when I entered that room, I started chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And believe it or not, the ghost inside her was feeling very uncomfortable. And she started writhing, like actually practically like, in our childhood, we had seen a movie known as Poltergeist. And in there, where a father or a Jesuit priest is called to eradicate a ghost that was possessed in a child. And when he started praying and he brought the cross in front, the child started, writhing in pain and tossing and jumping in the air and doing all sorts of scary things. Something similar in nature happened when the Mahamantra was recited. So eventually, my grandmother decided that they should do Srimad Bhagavatam in the home, and then she was a devotee, of course. But none of them listened to her, and they decided to go to different, what do you call those, witches or black magic people, see if that would help. That did not help either. But so what I'm saying is, long story short, this is real. In our childhood also, in our village in Gujarat, where I visited, late at night, when we used to go from one house to another house, we were very scared because we could actually hear the sounds behind us. And we were told, never look behind if you hear somebody walking, and especially if there is a particular witch, she wears ankle bells. And if you hear ankle bells at night, don't look behind. Otherwise, you will definitely get possessed. So I still remember those days. They were rare, but they were real. So in order to eradicate this ghostly body, either Lord Shiva or the son of that family, of those ancestors, perform Shraddha ceremony. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that in the purport, in verse number 53, those fathers and ancestors who by freak of nature might not have a gross body for material enjoyment can gain such bodies due to the offering of Shraddha oblations. So once we offer Shraddha, they are released from the ghost body, and then they will perhaps get a human body with, or they can even get liberated. Uh, so the performance of Shraddha, of offering oblations with prasad. So this is very important. So whenever the Brahmins offer the oblations, it is first offered to Vishnu or Krishna, and then it is offered to the ancestors. So it is understood that they take prasad. Also, one of the things that we have been told, and it is true, I think it is mentioned in the Garud Puran, that when the oblations are offered and when a crow comes and eats that, because generally what happens is when you do the offering, then you don't eat that. You leave it under a tree or you leave it besides the river, meaning the rice pindas or the bowls. And then when a crow immediately when it comes, then we can understand that indication is there that the Pitrus have accepted that offering. So these are some of the beliefs, traditional beliefs. And so like that. So because the Lord is so pleased with the devotees don't have to do this. It is not necessary that the devotees have to perform Shraddha. Because, like the example is of Prahlad Maharaj. When Lord Nrsimhadev appeared, and he said, I'm very pleased with you, Prahlad. Please ask me any benediction and I will grant it to you. So Prahlad Maharaj, being so kind and a Vaishnava, he said, my father, such a demon, please deliver him. So Nrsimhadev Bhagavan said, Prahlad, you don't have to worry about that. 21 generations in the future and 21 generations of the past, they will all be delivered. They will all get liberation because of you being the bhakta, you being a devotee. That is the kindness of the Lord. So that is why sometimes when we are concerned, some people, we discuss amongst devotees that my parents, they're not very happy that I've taken to join Iskcon or taken to Krishna consciousness. My parents were not. When I first, I was a brahmachari for quite some time and I shaved my head. And when they first saw me, I didn't visit India for at least the first 12 years after I came to the United States. And when they saw me, my mother started crying at the airport. And she said, what is this? I said, Mother, this is life. I'm very happy, much happier than what I was before. So like that, reluctantly so sometimes our parents, our friends, our family members, they don't accept Krishna consciousness so nicely. And then sometimes some of them go to the extreme of thinking that we are crazy, the bhaktas. So, but still, because we were born in their family, we have some love and affection for them, right? We always try to mean well for them. When we go home, sometimes some devotees go home, they take prasadam. They try to tell them a little bit about Krishna, but some of them don't even accept it because they're set in their ways. So they give them prasadam. So hopefully, their lives will change, their existence will change. And when they, because of the affection that is shown to those persons, whether father, mother, brother, sister, friends, Krishna notices that. He is there in everybody's heart. So automatically, when the time comes when they are leaving their bodies, Krishna will take care of them because of the devotee. And that is very important. Sometimes, like Nam Aparad number 9 says, to preach the glories of the holy name to unfaithful persons or those who don't have ashraddha vanajana, those who don't have faith in the holy name, one should not push. We have to be very careful, especially those who are preaching. We are not fanatics. So we leave them alone, or we give them some prasad, or we do some kirtan so that it's audible and it will enter within the ears and in their hearts. So at least they can probably get a human body in their next birth, and they can cultivate some bhakti, and it will continue the process. So regardless whether our family, our friends accept Krishna consciousness or not, it's a good try. But if they don't, then let us all become good devotees. So that anybody you have affection for, Krishna will take care of them. So we have the perfect example from Prahlad Maharaj. So, like this, Lord Krishna favors them, and um, because the devotee is so much into Krishna consciousness, he doesn't have to go through all these different Vedic rituals of the karma kanda. And the conclusion, therefore, Prabhupada says is that Krishna consciousness is the sum total of good work for the family and for the society. Now, what is good work? Sometimes I remember one instance where I had heard Prabhupada's lecture. So Prabhupada said, one must know good in order to do good. One must know good in order to do good. So good is a frame of reference. It is a good. Good means like supposing if somebody just speaks some nice words to somebody, that is good. Or somebody gives somebody who doesn't have food, give him some food, feed that person, a poor person. That's also good. So, but there are different gradations of good. That's what Prabhupada is implying. One small story that comes to my mind is in a big fair in our Hindi language, we call it Mela. Or even in the United States, every state has a huge state fair. I'm sure West Virginia has one too, right? And many, many thousands and thousands, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people attend those fairs. And it's so crowded that sometimes a child is lost, a small child. And what happens? Out of the thousands passing by, excuse me, one good person stops by and pacifies the child. Says, my dear boy or girl, what happened? Oh, I lost my parents. Oh, don't worry. You just stand here. They will come here very soon. And pacifies the child with some nice sweet words, maybe for 2, 3, 4 minutes. And then he goes his way. The child starts crying again. And then out of the hundreds of the people passing by, another good person stops by and again starts talking to the child. What happened, my dear child? And same thing, I don't have my parents. I lost them. And starts crying even more. And then this person, this good person, the second good person says, don't worry, they will be here. Okay, let me give you some ice cream because there's an ice cream stand right next. And he brings a nice ice cream cone. And the child, starts eating the ice cream and he stops crying, feels better. That man is still there, that good man, the second good man is still waiting with him, hoping that the parents will show up. And he waited for some time, but nothing happened. So then he says, don't move from here because your parents would also be looking for you. You just stand here and they'll find you. So he leaves. The parents not to be seen anywhere. The child starts crying again. Then a third good person comes and he pacifies the child, speaks sweet words, and then what he does is he tries to get a description of his parents and his home. In other words, he tries to coerce the child into asking, tell me, where do you think you live? Is there a park nearby? What does your home look like? What is the color of your car that your parents drive? So many different ways he takes the stuff out. And then finally, he figures out the neighborhood, and then he enters the neighborhood, holding the child with his finger, asks a few people, do you know this child? Yeah. The child is of that house. And then he takes the child, rings the doorbell, and finally hands over the child to the parents. The parents are extremely happy and the child is extremely happy. So out of the three good persons, which is considered the best? The third one. So similarly, Vaishnavas are like that. When they guide everyone and they take everyone, give them the opportunity to go home back to Godhead. That is what our Srila Prabhupada's divine grace is. He takes everyone home back to Godhead. If we are desirous of helping ourselves, just like the child was desirous of finding his parents, so he was helping the third good man by telling him different descriptions. So that will has to be there. And then they are always waiting for us. And Krishna is waiting for us in Golok Vrindavan with open arms, just like he welcomed Gopkumar. Where have you been? And Krishna cries. Anytime a new person who has come from this material world and enters into the kingdom of God, Krishna is waiting and he profusely cries and hugs that person personally. Radharani welcomes them personally, especially if they are the Gaudiya Vaishnava line, or if they are devotees of Lord Rama, etc. Then Lord Ramachandra personally calls them in his palace, to see them, give them a personal audition or a personal darshan. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, to support the statement, Srila Prabhupada mentions that Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahe. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahe. Shraddha Kahe Nishraddha Nishchaya. Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Meaning, if one performs Krishna Bhakti, then we do not have to separately perform any other kind of karma as recommended in the Vedas. So this might sound a little strange for some people who are hearing this for the first time. What is the Vedas? Srimad Bhagavatam says, nice verse. Actually, if you can repeat with me very quickly. Vasudeva Para Veda. Vasudeva Paramakaha. Vasudeva Param Jnanam. Vasudeva Param Tapaha. Vasudeva Param Dharmo. Vasudeva Paragati. So whatever activities we do, it should culminate into the pleasure or finding Vasudeva or Krishna. Vasudeva Paraveda. If somebody is studying Vedas, if their conclusion is not Bhakti or Bhakti Vedanta. See, Srila Prabhupada is known as Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. That is his prefix. Why is he called Bhakti Vedanta? Because there are so many Vedantis. And the Vedantis also include the Mayavads. They study scriptures. Like Sri Shankaracharya Pad says, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Mudamate, Samprapte, Samhita Kale, Nahi Rakshati Dukkarne. At the end, when Lord Shankaracharya, he was leaving his body, he told his disciples, who are all Mayavads, simply so much they were engrossed in studying the Vedas and the grammar, and the logic and the rhetoric. He said, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda. Worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. Mudamate, you fools. Samprapte samhita kale nahi rakshati dukkarne. At the end, your grammar is not going to save you. It's your bhakti and Bhaja Govinda. Serving Govinda, thinking of Govinda. Manmana mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Krishna has advised in the Bhagavad Gita. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quotes this in the Chaitanya Charita. Shraddha Sabde, one has to have firm faith, Vishwas Kahe. And we should have that very, very strong. The Vishwas Kahe means the scriptures say, the great personalities say, Shraddha Nishchaya. We should be so determined in Krishna Bhakti Kaile. When we perform Krishna Bhakti, Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. All the different karmas that we have incurred, bad, good, through our many, many lifetimes, they will be eradicated. And I will end today's katha by giving one wonderful example from Mahabharata. And it is also mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, especially in the first canto, 15th chapter, the Leela of Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni was a very, very learned Brahmin and a mystic. And he was, it is said, a plenary portion of Lord Shiva himself. And there were two qualities of Durvasa Muni. He could be pleased, and if he was pleased, he could give benedictions. And if he was displeased, he would get very angry and he could even curse or even come to the point of killing. Like, for example, we find in the Bhagavatam the incidents or the pastime of Amrish Maharaj, where Amrish Maharaj tried to break the fast on the advice of the ministers just by taking a little water. It was one of those Nirjal Ekadashis, and he had to do something. But Durvasa Muni travels with 10,000 disciples, so they decided to stop there and in the kingdom of Ambrish Maharaj and take prasadam. So, but before taking prasadam, they wanted to do their Gayatri and take a bath in the river. So they went, and then they didn't come back in a timely fashion, and the time was ticking, and it was just a very short period. Some Ekadashis, by the way, today is Ekadashi, what an auspicious day. It is known as Parsva Ekadashi, or also known as Vaman Ekadashi. Tomorrow is the appearance of Vaman Dev. So wonderful. I think Sankirtan Prabhu, His Grace, Sankirtan Prabhu is giving class. He's a wonderful storyteller. Please don't miss his class tomorrow. So he will probably be speaking on the appearance of Vaman Dev, etc. So, anyways, when he was, because he was Trikaldarshi, he could see everything. He said, "Oh, he started eating. He started drinking water without me. I am the guest. How can he do that?" And from his hair, he pulled out from his jata one hair string, and he created a demon, Jatasur, and said, "Go kill him, because he is not respectful to his guests." Durvasa Muni did that. So like that. So Durvasa Muni was actually, we've seen so many incidences. Even, we find that Kunti Devi, she served Durvasa Muni very nicely when she was very, very young, when he came to her father's kingdom. And then Durvasa Muni blessed her because he was pleased that any time you want to call any demigod, any Devi Devta, they will appear. So she wanted to try that. One day she remembered that Durvasa Muni gave me this benediction. I should try it. And she thought of the sun god, Suryadev. And she called Suryadev. And Suryadev and her, they had done, she was very pretty in all respects, wonderful young girl. So Suryadev had physical union. And then Karna was the child. But because she was so scared that she was not married and how can she have a child? So she took that baby Karna and set it afloat in the river in a little basket. So like that, Durvasa Muni had come to the palace of Duryodhan. And Duryodhan, we all know, he was very wicked. So he also knew that Durvasa Muni was very easily pleased, at the same time very displeased if somebody did not serve him well. So what he did, he told Durvasa Muni, "Please, my dear Lord, sit down." And he had so many different items made. He fed all of the 10,000 disciples, and he personally served Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni was very pleased. And he said, "Duryodhan, ask me and I will give you something." So Duryodhan says, "Actually, there's nothing that I would like to ask you." So he's being wickedly humble. "I have nothing to ask you. I'm so happy that you came and I was able to serve a Brahmana of your stature or of your status." Then slowly he says, "Okay, if you want to do, I don't want anything, but why don't you go to my cousins? They are in the forest in exile, and maybe you can bless them." Now, Duryodhan very well knew that if he goes with 10,000 disciples and anytime a Brahmin comes or a Vaishnava comes, you always feed them, right? So, and he said that, you wanted to give me something, right? So I'm asking you, when you go there, you actually go when Draupadi has finished her lunch. And that's the time you should be showing up at their door. So he did that. Suddenly, the Pandavas had, they finished their lunch, and then as a chaste wife, Draupadi was eating hers. And as soon as he finished everything, Durvasa Muni knocked the door, and there he was with his 10,000 disciples. Yudhishthira Maharaj was very pleased. He offered him a good seat, whatever he could. And then he himself said, Durvasa Rishi, we will now do our Gayatri, take a bath in the river, and please, we'll be happy if you can make lunch for us. So Yudhishthira Maharaj said, "Surely, Maharaj, I will try my best." And then, as soon as he left, he was terrified. How is Draupadi, how is Panchali going to feed 10,000 disciples and Durvasa Muni? And she just finished eating. Now, it is said that Draupadi had received an Akshay Patra, a vessel where she could, as long as she had not eaten, it would have unlimited quantity of prasad or food in it. So even if 10,000 or even 1 million people came, it would never end. It would continuously manifest more and more. But once she ate, then it finished. So she told her husband, I finished eating. So this is not going to work today. And he's going to be back in about half an hour or whatever. What are we going to do? So then Draupadi, being a wonderful devotee, started praying to Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, please come. And Krishna came there. And Krishna said, do you have something left? In anything in your body? No, nothing. And she actually felt bad because if Krishna is there, she wanted to feed him too. But she didn't have anything. The whole pot was empty and she lamented because she could not even feed Krishna. Krishna says, go look properly. Anything you find, even a little piece stuck to the pot. So she went and looked at the pot properly and then she did find something that was stuck. And what Krishna did is took that and put it in his mouth. The moment he put that little piece of particle of food in his mouth, what happened? Distance away where Durvasa Muni and 10,000 disciples were taking bath, they suddenly started belching and they felt completely full. They felt completely satisfied. So now Yudhishthira Maharaj sends Bhima. Bhima called them. Krishna says, you go Bhima. And tells Yudhishthira Maharaj tells Bhima, you call them, then tell them that lunch is ready. This is Krishna's instructions. Krishna is very tricky. So when Bhima went, Durvasa Muni, please, prasadam is ready with you and all your 10,000 disciples. And they ran away because they felt that if so much prasadam Draupadi must have made, and if we are not going to eat, that's going to be so embarrassing. And they said, no, it's getting late, and they made some excuse, and we are fully satisfied. Thank you so much, Bhima. And they left the place. So moral of the story, if we please Krishna, we please everyone. So Krishna just took a little particle. So it is also said in the Shastras, to end this particular lecture, it says that Jiva Rishibir Akarna Anda Kesha Angrupa Mahan Atan Mulavad Achyutera Sarva Jivatma Tarpanam. Meaning, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto, just after the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. The entire universe, which is full of living entities, is like a tree. And whose root is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Sri Krishna. So if we satisfy Krishna, we satisfy the whole tree because Krishna is like the root. So if we have to water a huge tree, what do? We simply water the root. We don't take a ladder and we take a hose and we spray it on every leaf or every branch or every twig. We don't do that. We just water the root and the tree is very fruitful, satisfied, flourishing. So similarly, sarva karma kruta hoy. Everything that we do, that is why Krishna guarantees at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshashyami ma sucha. Arjun, do not worry. Just surrender unto me and I will take care of all your reactions. So we all have so many sinful reactions that we have gathered, we may not know, knowingly or unknowingly, for many, many births. But if we take to bhakti, if we surrender to Krishna, Krishna says, do not fear, I will take care of it. So this is, and the best way to surrender to Krishna in Kali Yuga is to chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is the best system how to surrender to Lord Krishna. And he will take care of us, our karma, our relatives, our everyone. So thank you all very much. Right now it's time, 9 a.m. It's time for prasadam. The breakfast will be served. Is it served outside? I think it's served outside, right? So it's served outside. So, and if anybody has any questions or queries, you can approach me. I will try my best to answer it. Haribol. Shri Prabhupada Gurudev ki jai.
About doing the story that you told about.
Sorry?
How is she doing now?
Who?
Presently, your sister-in-law.
Oh, she's fine.
She's fine now.
Yeah. It goes went away. Actually, it was my great grandmother, we found out,
Oh.
who had possessed her. So my very oldest uncle, my grandfather had married twice. So he was from the first wife. When that wife passed away, then he married again. So my mother and my uncles were from the second wife. So when he visited uh, my uncle from the first grandmother, when he visited, one second, let me shut the live stream. Yes, you can take it.